Hey, hey, welcome, Divine Empress. Welcome back to Embody Your Empress. I am Sarah King, the host of our episode today, also the founder of Empress Nation, the place you want to be if you are a working career mama, you have a family, you are trying to do your business, and sometimes life just needs a little bit of a helping hand. I am here for you. I have been there myself, and I know a few little tips and tricks and some reality checks, because being real about everything that goes on in life is going to help us so much more than pretending it just doesn't happen. So our episode today is one of my favorite topics to talk about. It's about the divine within and the divine without, and having your connection to it. Now, oh, the world changed for me when I began, well, I didn't even know at the time, but when I began my spiritual awakening, I had no idea what was going on or what would be coming. I just knew that my life felt like a bit of a, ooh, I don't want to say a naughty word, but everything was up in the air, hitting the fan, and I had no control over it. But I knew someone did. I knew something did. I didn't know it was someone. Something had a control, and I knew I just had to trust it and let it all play out. We are all very different. We are all very unique, and we all have the ability to choose. And we all get to choose something different, which is awesome. I love this, right? When we talk about divine connection, our spiritual side, it is such a personal identity shift. This is who I am can evolve into this is who I am in another day to this is who I am. It doesn't have to be this is who I am today, so this is who I'm going to be for the next 50 years. As we learn, as we grow, our knowledge of what we can't see in front of us grows as well. And I personally believe this is really important to incorporate into our divinity, into our spiritual side. Have you ever thought about that before? Interesting, isn't it? Often we just go, yep, this is me, I'm going to tick a box, and then I'm going to move on without revisiting what we believe, how we believe it, how it shows up for us. But winding it back a little bit, having a connection to a higher power, the divine within, can help us with our intuition, number one, importantly, but also our creative force, ideas, our courage, our compassion, our confidence, our communication, our ability to connect with self, our ability to connect with our source, our ability to connect with the other humans around us. It's limitless. Having a strong connection to something outside of this, but is connected to this, that is part of this, that has a lightning bolt just constantly flowing through with love. It is amazing how we can harness this and use it to live our best life that we can. And when we shut it down and we just say, no, actually, thank you, we are also saying no, thank you to our best life. We're saying no, thank you to those ideas that come through our inspired actions, our faith in humanity to be more than what we just see. When we look at the divine, the connection with us, and then our connection to a higher power and how they are linked, we really have the key that often when we feel like we're not succeeding, we have that key. It's right there. We just need to open our eyes and look at it. This is so vital when we, especially as a entrepreneur, when you are the person that is spinning all the plates at one time, to have a beautiful, deep connection within self and a higher divine. This is when your magic comes through. This is when your passion is soaring. Having the divine is like a guiding light. It's that connection to the greater, however that shows up for you, that inspires us. It's fueling purpose, it's fueling our passion, it's helping us to stay in line with our values. Now, whether you follow a traditional religion, whether you follow a spiritual, more free-flowing aspect, your values are your values. And when you have something out of yourself but is connected, that is bringing you back to those values regularly, you are going to stay in alignment with them so much easier, with so much more grace. They are just going to more forefront of your mind. The divine is within our own wisdom and our creativity. It is the part that translates, the inspirations, the drop-ins that we have into actual actions. It sounds too easy, right? Okay, well, I have a thought in my mind. I have this idea. Our divinity helps push us to the action stage. It is the faith we have to take something non-tangible into a tangible moment. It is the faith we have to step forward, the faith we have to step off the cliff and explore something. How do we know it will end up okay? We don't. But we have a nudge and we know we are supported. What is the worst that could go wrong? Now, divine often manifests in those moments of creativity. When you meditate and you ask for inspiration, when you ask for clarity on an idea, when you are just not sure of what to do, take some time to connect with your source, with your higher power, with your divinity, to connect with that ever glowing love that can flow through you. So take a moment to meditate, whether it's a guided meditation to assist you getting that connection, or if you are just putting the question you have out there, allow it to come. Calm the conscious mind and just allow God, Spirit, Creator to speak to you. Then take the visions, take the words, take the feelings that you get and do something with it. That is our purpose here. Connecting with our higher source through meditation or even journaling. It sparks the ideas, it sparks the content for our project, sparks creation. And this is a bigger picture of us moving forward with our passion and with our purpose and making a difference in somebody else's life. This is what matters in this world. If you are struggling to identify your purpose or where you sit or what the point of this life is, connect. Connect with the thing that is you and is bigger than you at the same time. I'm curious. I'm so curious this is coming into my head. Does that scare you? Or does that light you up with a fire under your butt and just wants to be open and be receptive and be the vessel for these bigger pictures, these bigger ideas, these changes in our society, to do something more than what you have been doing, to be the voice that needs to be spoken, that can be heard by the human ears, There can be the words coming through, not from you, but from something else, but to be the mission behind it. Does that scare you? Or does that send you into a frenzy of joy and elation? Oh, we talked about meditation. Meditation as a way to connect, but also journaling is an amazing way as well. Get some paper, get a pen. You can rewrite and just write whatever comes out of you. Do not think about it. Just let the words flow onto the paper. It doesn't matter if it's messy. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense, if the spelling is wrong, because that's always me, and you know that by now if you've been around here for a while. Just write, because it's not your conscious mind. This the message is coming through for you. Write, write, write. If you've ever read the amazing book Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh, it is a life changer. It is something to think about at the very minimal. But that's how that book was created. He got this message, middle of the night. Start writing. Just write what I say. Don't question it. Just write what I say. And he sat down and he wrote and he wrote and he wrote. And the wisdom that came through that book has touched, I'm going to say, millions of people without fact checking that, but I'm pretty sure it would be up there. It's a very, very popular book. Feel free to correct me. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's definitely an inspiring book, and I would recommend you read it or listen to the audiobook, which we also love. Oh, at my heart, just saying that, I can see in my mind that so many of you have just paused this and you've gone to write what is in your heart right now, what is needs to be out in this world. That is your connection. And before you do these practices, before you meditate, before you journal, it's a beautiful idea to set up some sort of ritual that connects you into your divinity within your inner divine self, and connect into that higher power if it's not already sitting there. And this might turn up differently for you, and it might depend on what's around you, who's around you. Some people set up little altars and they have images, candles, they have photos, they have flowers, they have meaningful objects that they know are gifts from the divine. They are reminders, they are their prompts. And so when you go and you pay tribute or gratitude to your altar, you are in the conjunct line and the consciousness can stream through you. For some people, this might be burning some Palo Santo. For some people, this might be essential oils. For some people, this might be going outside and grounding barefoot into the nature. It might be saying a prayer to please come in and support me. Please give me the words. Please give me the wisdom. Please show me the way to move forward next. Each of us will have a different way of connecting. But find that way and know that you can use it at any time. For me, because I'm out and about often, I have found a way that even in my car, I can connect into my divine guidance just by closing my eyes and saying a little prayer in my mind, asking for support and guidance, and for my angels to come and protect me and show me the best way forward at this time. That's how simple it is. Just practice and trust. Because when you get that connection, it can feel big. It can feel electric. So trusting that there is so much magic in there and that you just ride that flow. Oh my gosh, gives me tingles just talking about it. The interesting thing is as well, like, because it can be such a rush, that you need to cultivate that connection on your side, right? Having some big, juicy energy flowing through, it needs to be caught, it needs to be received. So balancing the big with what you are holding within you already as a way that can be open and channeling it through When you cultivate that, and that just takes time and practice, that is when you really are to create the magic through what is coming through, the creativity, the aligned action, the focus, the mission, the purpose. Oh, we talk so much about purpose in these episodes, and yet where does your purpose come from? It doesn't come from in our mind. It comes from the higher realm. It comes from the gift of God. It comes from the wings of an angel. It comes from the creator source energy. Oh, and I'm just so happy to talk about this, because when we all know and acknowledge and trust and play and allow this into our lives and allow this to guide us and allow this to be why we are here, why we're moving through this life, it really changes our perspective. It gives us gratitude for each and every day. It makes sweating the small things seem so irrelevant. And if you've ever done this, if you've ever been in a place where you just don't know how to get through, like when I had my spiritual awakening, like my daughter was only 18 months old, I went to a shamanic meditation where the facilitator said, Sarah, you shouldn't be having your spiritual awakening now. You should just put it on the shelf and come back to it later. It's not the time. It takes too much energy. Just focus on raising your kids. And if you've had that dark night of the soul where everything cracks open for the first time, you kind of realize shit can't get put back in a box. You're doing this whether it was a choice or it wasn't a choice. You were chosen for it. So I continued. I just continued. And I'm so grateful I did. That might have been my first test in trusting, because I have had the most profound experiences that have led me to where I am right now. And I'm so grateful for that. That is nothing you can give back. That is nothing you can take away. That is just everything you are meant to be in this moment. Ah, just everything that is meant to be in this moment. You know, we talk about creativity and action, which can be talked about in many different scenarios. But I feel like when you are pushing the creativity and when it's not flowing through you, coming from such a masculine, structured place. And, you know, sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need more structured balance. We can't just wait till we're hit by the bolt of lightning, which is why it's great to practice and trust when it does come through. But sometimes setting boundaries or, you know, making sales, we can push those things. We think they're not really applicable to have our divine guidance with us at that time. But you know what? We can actually. We can invite our divine guidance in all areas of our life, whether we're making those sales, whether we're about to sit down and give a presentation, whether we need to set really firm boundaries, we can do so with love and intention of divine guidance backing us, because ultimately that is for our own good, right? Making sales is for our own good. You know, leading an amazing workshop is for our own good. So, of course, we can tap into this energy whenever we want, you know, using those natural influences within this part of our life that often we reserve for our personal life and our relationships. When we bring this into our business world, our corporate world, we don't have to scream it from the rooftops, but it's okay to share, in my opinion, if someone's interested. When you bring it into your, especially entrepreneurs, when you are divinely guided, this is when the magic happens. You'll see often the really inspiring people in life, if you look into their philosophies, it is backed by a greater purpose, a deeper meaning, a strong higher connection. And it really helps connect us. with divine practices like patience and empathy, which can often be overlooked. Let's be honest, can often be overlooked in a corporate structure. We can do this in a business environment and also our family connections. So relying on the divine to help us set those boundaries with our time and energy as a mother in a busy corporate office can really support us. And also, we're not alone in, in what we're doing, but when we actually connect and get the message, look, you need to firm up those boundaries. You've been staying too late for no real reason. Boundaries in place, knowing that it has come from a higher place and that it's ultimately for your own good and for your family's good and probably for your business's good, because when you have a break, you come back refreshed and better the next day. So these energies can just come through what our spiritual entrepreneur mums, yeah, which we're changing our title halfway through. Definitely show up as your best self in every part of the day. How much better does it feel when you go to put out a piece of sales content and you smash it because you have set the intention with it, coming from a higher power, not just coming because you want to smash up the sales and go buy a new handbag this week. Also, okay, if you do that too. We love a new handbag. But it feels so good when it's coming from a higher place. Also, using the inner strength within you, the divine within, that connection piece, the place that filters through. It empowers you. You are the source of this connection. You can be confident in what you're doing. You can prioritize yourself. Take self care without feeling guilty, because having a strong connection while you're building it may seem a little bit draining at times, or it may seem really energetic. Having self care in either way can actually make you feel overall just so uplifted and high vibrational. And that's what we want, right? We want to raise our vibration. We want to be coming at everything we do with a whole new aspect, with a whole higher power, knowing we are connected and we are backed. Beautiful ways we can recognize and align with these energies is to create like morning or evening rituals. This is where you're really connected. This is when you can do your meditations, your prayers, your visualizations, your journaling. However, I would say there is a lot of talk about morning routines and not so much about evening. I have my own divine practices in the evening because that's what works for me. I have young children. They like to get up at the crack of dawn. So once they are in bed, that's when I have my connection time and I talk to my guides and my divinity really channels through. I take my notes, I do my journaling, I say my prayers, and I ask for support for the next day. I close out my day that I've had and I ask for support for the next day so that they see me through these next 24 hours before I get back in touch. Not that I'm ever out of touch, but just when I have that sit down moment. Many people prefer the mornings because that's how they set up their day. But what I'm here for is the practical. At this stage of my life, it is not practical for me to do that. So I adapt, and that is okay. That is more than okay. So you do what you need to do when you need to do it. While we're talking about journaling, there's something to remember is we talked about free-flowing journaling. We can also use journaling prompts to explore what our inner wisdom is trying to get out with, what it's guiding us to do. This is really easy. You can Google search on any subject and find an array of journal prompts. And it just helps us to be thinking about specific areas that we want to channel through guidance. It's not like we just have to take anything is coming to us, but we actually get to have a say in where we would like focus direction. After all, it is our choice to connect in. We can schedule our activities. to base them on energetic alignment. You might find you love going to sound healing events. You might go to yoga practices because you know that connects you through your highest being with the breath and with the flow and with the movement. You might find that ice baths offer you a divine connection, being there within your divine self and your divine higher self and your actual physical body. That can be an amazing divine connection as well. So, looking at what brings you closer to your higher self and putting that into your schedule, making sure you find time to do it is the best self care you could ever do. Forget the bubble baths, forget the glass of wine. Spiritual identity, spiritual connection, finding your divine self and trusting the messages is the self care. Oh, creative, like finding that creativity, talking about that. If you have tasks that really set you on fire, and when I say tasks, I'm like, it can be creative. You can like literally be making something. It doesn't need to be to sell. It doesn't need to be for business. It doesn't need to be for a profit. We think it's only productive if we get these things out of it, if we have KPIs to meet on our divine spirituality, right? But actually, this is what makes us more holistic. This is what makes us human. This is what makes us interesting, why we have joy in our life. So let's just do more. Those creative things that align us within our divinity are the moments of joy, of passion. Oh, and it's great to have structured tasks that we do to be grounded and in that masculine energy as well. There's just definitely time for that. So having a mix and a balance of creative, intuitive, divine moments and also more structured tasks, it helps us keep a balance. It helps us like a tree. So we have our roots going into the ground deep within the earth that spread out all around us. So that is our masculine, that is our more structured side. And then we have our trunk, which is our human body. And then we have the beautiful branches and leaves of the tree that spread out and flow and they reach for the sun and they feel the air within them and they catch the rain and bring them down into the roots. And that is what our divine connection is like. Our divine connection stretches way up high and it brings in the little gifts from the earth and it brings it back down to our masculine and it really generates this creative flow of masculine and feminine and the balance and the swirl that we have when one needs to be, more in charge or more dominant with its, if it's blowing a gale, we need our roots deep in our masculine. We need to weather the storm, but we also need that divinity, that soft feminine to come in and to guide us through. Ah, so be aware of your divinity within a higher self and your actual self within your heart and how they connect and how they talk to each other and how they give each other feedback and openness and flow and trust and how the ideas show up and you move forward with them by having a trust in them installed. And that trust will be so secondhand you don't even think about it. Think of how you can build up your practices, whether they are morning or night, and which aligns better for you. Do you love the meditation, the journaling, the yoga, the walks on the beach in the morning? Like, how do you connect into your divine guidance system? So personal, so unique. I'm curious. I would love you to share how you do this for you. Please share with me in the comments. Share with me on Instagram, tag me in a story, like show us, like be the vision. Let's get it out there. The more people see this, the more we normalize this, the more it shows up in everyday life and the more magic we have and the more miracles we bring to life by following our true divine self and balancing the divine within and the divine without creates harmony within us, within our society, within our family. Yeah, these energies, they surface and they translate differently based on the task at hand and who they're coming through. So just be mindful when you're leaning in or when someone else is leaning in that we are so respectful of this, that we recognize and we honor the balance that we need at the time, the masculine and the feminine. And one will take a role and then pull back and the other can come in. And we really do need both of them in our lives. You know, when we honor the divine guidance, it reduces the overwhelm that can get piled on top of us and actually enhances our productivity, our creativity, and our connection. So, our spiritual entrepreneurs, our corporate creatives, our business babes, honestly, we are all in awe when we are divinely connected. Please, I would love you to reflect on this episode. It is so deeply personal and so unique. Every single one of us will have a different view. Even as I'm talking, you will have a different vision in your head of what I'm talking about and how that shows up for you. Please, I would love you to share in the comments. Subscribe to this episode, please, so you don't miss the next one. I would love to hear all the juicy details of what is going on. Of course, if you would like to work with me, we have our waitlist for our one-on-one elite sessions open. And we would love to touch base. I'm Sarah King. It has been my pleasure. Hopefully, it has been yours as well. And I will see you on the next episode. Go and rule your nation, Empress. Take care. Okay?